on digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, and Facebook. The Sports Cast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sports Cast.
On digital radio, on the app, on your smartphone, on X, YouTube, on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sports Cast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by the Sports Cast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho. Live from Miami, Fort Lauderdale and Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by the Sports Cast. It's September 18th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Twitch, X, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online digital radio. You can visit our website, thesportscast.net. Also, follow us on X and Instagram at thesportscast1. And check us out. Check out our app, The Sportscast for iOS. I am Santiago Leon. I am subbing in for Mr. Victor Arocho. He is on assignment. But we got Mr. Byron Jones. How you doing, Byron?
Wonderful. Enjoying the 80-plus degrees that we temperature up here in Pennsylvania. It's nice day.
So you haven't had the cold weather yet? I guess Byron's not there. We got Blair coming back after a 2-week hiatus, coming back strong. Brett, how have you been since week 1 of the NFL?
I mean, Micah. That's all I could say. I mean, week 1 has been incredible. Week 2 coming in there is some of the games have been off the chain, especially his Giants, my Cowboys. I'm loving it. We got a kickoff coming right now, right? The fish right here are playing the Bills.
Tonight is 2
all over.
0-2. I mean, Brett knows how those days were 0-2 with the Cowboys, but should the Cowboys be 2-0 by now if it wasn't for a CD Lamb drops?
Yes, yeah. We beat Philly. The last one that he laid out for that's if you're the second best wide receiver in the game, you even make that catch. But the one that fell was a dime into his hands. We easily could be 2-0. We have the worst defense in the NFL. Don't get me wrong. Like my defense, leaks like a sieve. But Dak has a lot of weapons, and it looks like we're gonna have a lot of shootouts this year. Plain and simple. Aubrey for MVP, man. Aubrey for MVP.
Aubrey for MVP, which is our first topic of tonight's show. The Giants lost against the Cowboys in overtime by kicker Brendan Aubrey, who wins in overtime with a 46-yard field goal. He had a field goal in regular time where he tied the game. Let's go with Byron. What were your thoughts over this game? I mean, obviously, you saw Russell Wilson throwing for 400 yards. We thought for a moment the Giants were going to win this game, but it did not happen.
Let me think. Let's start with Mr. Hudson, our tackle. He decided, that the 4 plays in a row that he had a penalty, which is probably in the history of the NFL, whatever his knucklehead was doing. He swung at the guy like he wanted to knock his head off. It looked crazy, what he did. And then, they're explosive team. When they got blocking, when they put the young kid Embo, in, it was a lot better once they got Mr. Hudson out. The only thing I was really disappointed with that the defense really didn't show up. Brian Burns did a few things, but we really haven't heard, Dexter Lawrence like, raising havoc, that he normally does. And as far as the kick was concerned, when the Giants went ahead, I was sitting there and I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, that kid, if Bowen is playing a prevent defense, back way back, and I'm thinking to myself, I was like, he's going to kick a 64-yard, 60 plus to tie the game up. And that's exactly what happened. He kicked the 64 and cleared it where it looked like he would have hit it from 70. So,
easily.
Yeah,
easily 70.
I was keeping hope alive, but it just didn't.
Brett Blair, I didn't know about Brandon Aubrey. You knew about him since before he was born. Tell us what was your stance of the game here?
I mean, look, as I said, Donovan Wilson, you're right. There's 2 or 3 Giants players. One, obviously, that offensive lineman who did something like, if you do something that's never been done in the history of the NFL, and it has to do with penalties and things like that, it's not good. That's never a good sign. But how you don't have Donovan Wilson playing on the top, over the top, meaning nothing gets behind me. If you're going to do, whether you're doing a 2-3, whether you want a high safety zone, you do not let Malik Neighbors behind you. The only way we can lose this game, the only thing that can hurt us, and what do? He actually, his backpedal into his swivel to where he was now trying to chase Malik Neighbors. It's not going to happen. The dude is a beast. Malik Neighbors is probably the 3rd best wide receiver in the NFL. I blame that on our defensive coordinator, right? It's what the Bears coach from last year or whatever, disgusting. A disgusting display of defense, how you are not playing a safety over the top so that nobody I don't care, give you anything underneath. We'll give you anything you want underneath, but we're not going to let Malik beat us deep. And he beat us like a drum, like a drum. And how did the only time we did right was when he messed up and Donovan Wilson was playing over the top and actually made an interception because of the incorrect route that he ran. But you saw Wilson was over the top there for the interception. How we let that happen, there's no excuse, man. There's no excuse for things like that. It's an incredible play. And that's what makes Malik Neighbors one of the best receivers in the NFL. But I blame it all on defense, all on horrible defense.
What do you think, Byron? What do you think about Malik Neighbors' performance in this game?
He played, like he's one of the top 3, like he said, receivers in football. But and again, why would you, I'm a defensive guy. Why wouldn't you have a safety over the top or just back up? Just back. You know it's coming. You know it's coming. So why wouldn't you? You know what? We know he's going to throw this far. Hey, let's back up 30 yards, and then when he starts running, back up even some more. There's no way you should get beat deep. Never. Not like that. Not 2-3 times. No. It don't work like
Correct.
that.
Ridiculous.
Let's go.
That's the worst display of defense. A disgusting display of defense.
Let's go.
And especially with.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, you got to throw in. He throws such a great deep ball too. The only thing Russell Wilson, he went through for 400 yards. That speaks for itself. But he throws probably the best deep ball in the game. He always has. And him to Neighbors, I still think, I'm going to be honest, Byron, I think when Dart comes in is when you guys are actually going to start. As good as Russell Wilson is playing, he threw for 400. That speaks for itself. 3 touchdowns, this, that, and the other. Dart is the future. When he comes in, based on what I've seen, obviously your defense, had to stop a very powerful Cowboy offense, but I think that's when I'm really going to start worrying about your team because he's a gunslinger. That kid is a gunslinger.
What do you think, Byron, about the rookie Jackson Dart?
Well, they did put him in the one play when Scatterboo got the 24-yard run.
Right.
Now, by having him in, you're going to have to account for him as far with the run game as well. So that's going to just add a little something extra and give people something to think about that this kid can run the ball. I don't want them to run him too much. He's not like a Josh Allen size where he can run like that. We see Josh Allen, but yeah, he can run. And if they do it like in spurs, don't try to kill a kid. I think he's gonna have a great career with the Giants.
Yeah, Cam Skatebo had 45 yards of running. And you seen this play right here, fantastic display of the Giants. Brett. Even though they lost in overtime, is there some optimism like with the Giants?
Well, at the beginning of the year, we broke down their schedule, right? Remember, a month ago or a little over a month ago, we literally said, where do their wins come? But because you got the NFC East, you have the AFC West, you have the NFC North. Those are the divisions we're playing that the NFC East is playing going out. So you have Green Bay, you have Chicago, you have Minnesota, you have Detroit, you have KC, you have Denver. You know what I'm saying? So where do the wins come from? But I'm going to tell you something. I expected to come in and roll over the Giants. We've beaten them like we own them like the last, and I was shocked at just how good. I mean, obviously the defense didn't hold up, but the Giants look a hell of a lot better than I really thought they would be, to be honest with you. So I have a lot more optimism for them moving forward if they can do some things. They have a really, really good defensive line. When they can put like those four ends together with like Thibodeau now and you know what I'm saying? Like they have a really, really, could be a dominant front four. It's the rest of that defense. If they can come together, now I see them being able to take a win in Minnesota, take a win in Denver or at home against Denver. It's feasible because they have far more weapons and look far better than I thought they would, to be honest.
Yeah, quite something. Let's look at the Cowboys last night. Brett gives some credit to them. Dak Prescott had 361 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Javonte Williams, 97 yards,
Boom.
1 touchdown. Javonte was a good addition, I think, so far.
Yeah, I told you he's going to be a workhorse, and I love the fact they got Miles Sanders comes in, gives you a little bit of the Dave Meggett kind of that third down. So Javonte's a beast. He's a big boy. His rookie year before he hurt the knee, he was doing some things that people were saying, wow. And then he got hurt, never came back, never truly fit in the system. He is exactly what we need. Our offensive line is the strength of the team. That's along with that receiver core. Now that you have Pickens, obviously you have 2 number ones. Dak has Ferguson also, along with a true between the tackles beast mode runner, and I think he'll run for 1,200, like 1,300 yards this year. I really believe it.
And a comment from Prophet Torres: CD was on fire. You agree, Byron? Brett?
Yeah. I mean, look, they got to find ways to get him the ball, but you know what? I don't mind Pickens having the monster game because it's been a long time that somebody did take some pressure off CD. There's a lot of games to come. We're healthy for the most part. Like that's the only thing I can say is because we know how many number one, but I think 5 quarterbacks, right? And the 5 number ones went down this week. That's a problem. We're healthy. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do on defense, but I'm always optimistic. 1-1, our schedule gets a little bit easier, but the Giants have a very tough schedule. I believe you guys have like the second toughest schedule in the entire NFL.
Second toughest.
So
the easiest part is in November.
That's a killer.
Coming from DJ Mac, Brett had to make up for the drops last week.
What's that? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Had to make up for the drops last week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't make up for the drops. You go out and you be CD Lamb and you do your job and you just do what you do. Okay, it is. He lost us that game, but it's okay. He's probably won us with far more games and kept us in far more games with great plays and great catches. I'll give it to him. Should it have happened? No, you don't. You're not the second best wide receiver in the game, and you drop 3 passes in one game, 2 on a final drive.
Because the Giants kind of.
But I'll still take CD Lamb on my team any day of the week.
The Giants kind of kept him in check. The Giants kind of kept him in check the first half, and he kind of like the second half. CD Lamb, went off on him. They didn't have any answers for him. In the second half, that's when things, you can see things change a little bit, and then they started working in Pickens, the tight end, and they look a lot better in the second half. And I got to give out the shout out to Tyler Smith, University of Tulsa guard, for the Dallas Cowboys. He's a Tulsa guy.
Nice. Another one of our Tylers. We have 3 Tylers on the offensive line.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? I take it back. We do have the major. I forgot. We have B.B. Cooper, our center, went down. I didn't even look into it. I don't know who's going to be filling the spot. But that offensive line, he was a third-round pick from like 2 years ago. But I know Cooper Beebe is hurt out, I believe 6 to 8 weeks. So I got to look into it in more depth, to be honest with you. But that is a major injury I forgot that we're dealing with. Yeah, you're watching the Giants run all over the field on the Cowboys. Run all over the field. We had no answers for anything. And I love Scadaboo. Like I love that dude. He's like a mini All-Star. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people remember him, but we all remember him on All-Star.
Which All-Star was a halfback, right?
Well, he was a fullback that they literally would pay as a halfback. When they would, because remember they also had, what was his name? 28 out of Florida State. Who was the other running back?
Who was the other running back? Byron, back with the Buccaneers, early 2000s.
The one who played with All-Star out of Florida State.
Warwick Dunn.
How do I forget
Warwick Dunn?
Right. That was the combo. But then they would put All-Star as fullbacks, as a running back, and he would just be a bowling ball. And I like Scotty the same way. You want to tackle me, you're gonna feel it. And I love that. I love that attitude.
We had a guest last week, Brad, on the show that which he was a Giants fan. He was saying, look, Cowboys, I hate them, but I have to give them credit. They put a emphasis on their O-line, on their line. They beef it up. Something that the Giants lacked. But why do the Cowboys have that tendency to beef up that line always?
Byron, you want to go first on this one, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock this out. Okay, let's go back to the '80s. Look at that line that they had back then.
Yeah, you go. That's what I was going to do.
The Great Wall of Dallas. I had to go. You had the Great Wall of Dallas, the '80s, '90s. They've always had a great offensive line. They always invested in these guys. Even the ones that they found, like was Kevin Gogan, Nate Newton. A lot of those guys were late. They were late round picks. They weren't all first round picks. And for some reason, somehow they, Eric Williams, he was a beast until he got hurt, car accident or whatever happened.
Seventh round pick.
Yeah. And
well, I will tell you
for some reason, you can say what you want about Jerry Jones. The offensive line, he's always, fixed it and addressed it, some kind of way where, if they do have that guy quarterback or they do have that guy running back, they're going to be successful, running or throwing the ball because they invested in the line.
Brett, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3. So 3 number 1 picks. He's absolutely right. Multiple years. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith, and then I forgot the Tyler out of Alabama who we took at 12, the guard that took, obviously we lost the Hall of Famer at right tackle, so we brought him in the first rounder, and absolutely right. I harken back to the '90s, the Great Wall of Dallas. If you control the offensive line and the defensive line, which is what Philly does, like that's why Philly's so successful. Is they literally have one of the best offensive lines and pretty much the best defensive line, and they control the line of scrimmage. That's why they win games. That's why Jalen Hurts can afford to do what he does and only throw here and run for 2 touchdowns. But the offensive line is what it's all about. We did lose Cooper Beebe, who was, like I mentioned, a 3rd-round pick, but they invest heavily in the offensive line with 1st-round picks for that very reason. And that's why I like the mix. Every Dallas game, if you're going to watch Dallas or you're a betting man, take the over on every single game. Every single game. There's no game this year that the Cowboys will not have to have a shootout to win the game. The defense cannot step up and win a game. They showed that multiple weeks in a row. The offense has to come out. We got that firepower. Like we have it. Can they shoot out 15 more games and win 11 or 12? I don't know, but I see us going to the playoffs this year. I really do.
Wow, quite something.
Davian Clowney, you didn't mention that. Let me just throw that in there. We signed Davian Clowney
this past weekend.
Yeah, so right? I don't know what he is. I don't know why he wasn't with another team. I don't know if he's been, at the bar getting drunk. I have no idea what. But if we can get 1 year out of him, please. I don't mind having a former number 1 overall pick at defensive end on my team.
And apparently he might play this weekend, Brett. versus the Chicago Bears, which is not a bad game to start.
Nope. That's going to be a shootout. Another shootout.
So.
I'm worried about a dude. I'm worried about DJ
Bears
Moore.
lost 2 bad games past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Byron, what do you think
Look
about
for a lot of
Jadeveon Clowney joining the Dallas Cowboys this past weekend? Is that a
He
good,
probably didn't want to go through the
good thing or a
off-season,
bad thing?
training, like the article says. It's a good thing. He's getting older. He don't want to go through the grind of being out there in the heat and getting hit on. Here, let me sign this money. Let me get this money, and go to one of the a team that probably going to go to the playoffs. Yeah, it's a good deal for him. He's the number 1 pick. He's made plenty of money.
Whoa, wow. Byron says Cowboys are going to the playoffs. Clowney did play in the preseason with Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
He did have some snaps.
They released him. I didn't know that. Okay.
They released him. So Coach Brian Schottenheimer said he wouldn't bet against Clowney possibly playing, but we don't need to make that decision today.
Beautiful. Come in and put up 7 sacks for me. I'm a happy camper. Come in and be a little bit. We couldn't.
We gotta do it.
I mean, the only thing we had was Clark, who, like, again, we talk about Micah. You get 2 first-round picks that are going to be late picks because Green Bay's looking good, plus Clark. And Clark's, again, 29, 3-time Pro Bowler. Like, he's a beast. He's probably I think he ranks at number 5 or number 6 in overall defensive tackles. So if we had him and Micah together, now we're talking about it. But we're much better stopping the run. But we can't get pressure on anybody. Russell Wilson was back there eating lunch, like making snacks, walking around, and had all the time in the world. We couldn't get to him, and that's why we got beat deep consistently.
So what do you think about Kenny Clark's performance so far with the Cowboys? Have you seen any difference? You see some progress there? Or? Byron, what do you think about Kenny Clark so far with the Dallas Cowboys? Can you hear me, Byron?
Me?
Yes. What do you think about Kenny Clark so far with the Cowboys?
Yeah. When you look at his stats, the Giants really didn't run for a lot of yards against that deep. They had the one big run, the 24-yard run, but for the most part, they really didn't. They really didn't do a really good job, run blocking, and that probably had a lot to do with the addition of Kenny Clark. So yeah, they're pretty stout now, with the guy they got from Green Bay. But yeah, the Giants are running the ball. It wasn't too good.
Brett, what do you think about so far with Kenny Clark's performance?
I mean, Byron knows his stuff as usual, man. He hit the nail on the head. We now can stop the run. That was our, we were pretty good at shots. Bland was healthy. Diggs was healthy. We were intercepting the ball. Donovan Wilson. We had Church at the time, who's gone now. Malik Hooker now is the other safety. But as a whole, the only thing he's collapsing the pocket. He's stopping the run. He's doing everything he can. But it looks like, although I gotta say, Murray, our number 59, our linebacker. That cat is all over the field, man. That cat is flying. Next time you watch a Cowboy game, watch Murray, number 59, and hopefully we have Overstreet coming back too, because he's really, really solid. If we can get him, he's that hybrid safety linebacker. We get him back. I think we can. I'm hoping. I have no faith. I'd love to see one thing. Show me one thing on defense that we had no stops against Philly in the first half. We literally did not have them to one negative play. Every play, they had 17 plays or whatever, were all positive plays, 7 yards, 18 yards. Come on, man. That's Pee Wee League stuff, right, Byron?
Right, Byron.
That's stuff we watch to play Pee Wee.
All right. Enough of this game. Probably one of the best games of the weekend, I thought. It was really good. I thought the New York Giants were going to win. But we'll see what happens. Byron, Giants expect left tackle Andrew Thomas to play in week 3. You think it's going to happen?
No, all smoke screens. He had like whatever surgery, I think it was foot surgery or something, in the off season. He's still, he's not in game shape yet, because he didn't play in any of the preseason games, and then to throw him out there, week three, we need to see, about it. Bo, the one they put out there after Hudson, if the kid can play. Why send him out there, on one leg? Conditioning is going to be an issue. Whatever else is going to go on, as far as his foot, if he's going to hold up, and you might as well hold him out another week to make sure, he's good to go for the rest of the year. Because for some reason, after he got paid with the Giants, he's always hurt. Great player when he plays, but he's always hurt. And then, by not having him, anchoring down the left side, the whole line is a train wreck. For some reason, that one guy holds up all the rest of them together like glue, and they play a lot better with him. But I want to see him play, but I don't. I'm gonna hold my breath, as far as if he's going to play this week.
Brad, the Giants played the Chiefs this weekend.
Well, I do want to mention, like, Brian, Andrew Thomas. He reminds me of Tyron Smith. You know what I'm saying? If he's in the game, he's a game changer. You know what I'm saying? He's the one that sets the tone. He's the one that keeps everybody in line. He's the one that everybody looks at and says, all right, I got to. But he was always hurt. He could never play, even forget 16, 17 games, 8 or 9 games. And I wouldn't rush Thomas back at all. I would let him. It takes an extra week or two. I'm looking like Byron said, at the longevity of his career. I'll take 3 more weeks this year for him to be healthy and now put a great rest of the year in and be a dominant force going forward. The money he signed is not just for 3 games this year. The money he signed is for what I believe is a 4-year deal. So they're looking for him. And again, I don't know anything about his medical condition. He could be, ready to go. But like Byron says, I would not rush it. I would let that play out as it is so that when he does come back, that he is ready to play.
What do you think, Byron? Should he wait another 3 weeks?
Because you figure, you figure they're playing the Chiefs, right, this week. So you got Chris Jones you got to worry about, and you don't think Chris Jones is going to go head up him. Hey, let's test his foot or ankle and see how he is. Karlaftis, the other kid on the other side, he's pretty good too. So you got 2 good edge rushers, so they might take the turns, to go over there to see, if he's going to hold up. So, why pick the Chiefs? Let's wait another week. See how he does in practice, and like under game conditions in practice, and see how he does. Don't throw him out there, against these guys. Look at his money. What he signed for, ton of money.
$117 million, Brad.
Man,
number one's Rashawn Slater from the Chargers.
Wow,
for left tackles.
It's funny, who's going to be up here for the Chargers is Alt that they just signed. That kid out of Notre Dame, he is the real deal, man. The real deal. Wow, these numbers are ridiculous.
And they had to switch him to the other side. They had to switch him to the other side because Slater got hurt.
Yeah,
Slater was supposed to be the left tackle.
Yeah,
and Alt was on the right side.
Correct. Yeah, the bookend tackles that would have been that's. If you can have bookend tackles like that for the next 5-6 years, you got something to build on. You know what I'm saying? Your quarterback's pretty safe.
Yeah, Rashawn Slater, number 1, then Trent Williams from the Niners, Christian Dershaw from Vikings, Bernard Raymond, Colts, Laramie Tunsil, Commanders, and then Andrew Thomas for the Giants. Right below him, Jake.
Laramie Tunsil was really that high on the list, man. Wow.
Yeah, this is based on the contracts, like the highest paid left tackles.
Of course, but these numbers are just. It's funny. The quarterback and the dudes who protect the quarterback, right? Those are the ones. Those are the ones who make all the money. Everybody else who just beat themselves up doesn't get anything.
It makes me want to play left tackle now. I can do it.
Well, there's talk on this show, Brett, that the wide receivers are getting paid. We think the cornerbacks will be next.
Why not? If you have that type of cornerback, but you're going to have to prove yourself. There's probably only, one field. There's probably four or five corners in the league. I can't say. I would love to say Bland and Diggs are part of those. They had some monster years, and Bland is hurt again right now. But it would make sense. You know what I'm saying? Well, now we're scoring. Everybody's scoring on us all day with the passing corners. I mean, everybody is getting paid except running backs. I mean, obviously Saquon, Henry. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple exceptions, but it's crazy. You're a running back. The longevity of your career is like 3 or 4 years, I believe, if you're a running back in the NFL, and you're destroyed. Your body is just beat up left and right, and you got paid 70 to 80% less than the dude that just takes the ball and throws it to people and doesn't have to do anything. It's disheartening, especially from a dude who loves to be, you know, when I was younger, in the middle of it. I want to be, you know, the fullback. I want to be the, you know, I don't mind being the, you know, around the scrum. But yeah, the guys who are getting beat up are getting paid nothing. And the people who put butts in the seats, right? I get the offense, the quarterback, the wide receivers, the defense, the offensive tackles. They're the ones making the money, man.
Quite something. We brought up the Chiefs a little bit earlier in the show. They're 0-2 after losing against the Eagles, 20-17, 3 points. Hurts and Barkley had touchdown runs. Makuba came up with the big fourth quarter interception of Mahomes. What are your thoughts about this, Mr. Byron?
Well, he got that interception because the ball bounced off of Mr. Kelsey.
Yeah.
And, you know, that pretty much stuck a fork in it. But I got to kick the Eagles back in. They, you know, again, you know, we've talked about this 1,000 times. You know, it just seems like, you know, they do just enough to win the game. That's what they're doing.
Correct.
Just 20 points and stuff.
Correct.
They do just enough to win the game. And, you know, that's where the problem kicks in, where they're saying that Jalen Hurts, you know, is like a game manager or whatever. I still think he's a top 3 quarterback. Yeah, but for them to have A.D. Brown, Devontae Smith, the tight end, Saquon Barkley, you know, I would think that they would put more, you know, points on the ball, you know, on the scoreboard. And for some reason, they're just not. And, you know, defensively, you know, like the defensive line, you know, it's not the same, you know, what they had last year. You know, they had those 2 big tackles in the middle, and they had, you know, Josh Sweat and Nolan Smith and a couple, you know, and they had Milton Williams last year. He got a big contract. Josh Sweat got a big contract. They don't have the same guys on the defensive line that they had, you know, the last couple of years. So, you know, we've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. You know, it seems like they're warming up, like this is their preseason. You know, we're 2 games into the season, and it just seems like they're warming up. Maybe they're going to start playing better, but right now they're just average.
They're taking it easy.
And the Chiefs, I'm going to say it now. Yeah, the Chiefs, I'm going to say, stick a fork in it. They're done. They have no running game. They have no, you know, Rashid, you know, Rice is out. Xavier Worthy, you know, is out. So they really have no passing game as far as, you know, getting the ball, you know, down the field. They only got one guy, like Hollywood Brown is a guy you can get the ball deep. But besides that, they have nothing. They're stick a fork in them. They're done.
Brad,
your thoughts over the Chiefs-Eagles game this past weekend?
Well, I mean, like, it's funny you mentioned that with the Eagles. I a good friend of mine who, an associate who's diehard Eagles, and he brought up some of the things. The Eagles offensive line didn't play one snap together the whole line in preseason, not one. The offense never played together. The whole offense never played together with one play. They're literally, Byron, again, as you hit the nail on the head. They're using the first 3 weeks of the season as literally their preseason, dialing what they need to do. And again, it's scary to me. They can still, like Byron said, do just enough. I got to do this just to beat you. That's what I can do. I got to run the ball and not hit A.J. Brown, not get Goddard, not get, you know, Smith, not get you the ball. You know what? You want to help now? I'm just going to run the ball all day. And that's what he could do. I mean, I don't think he's top 3. I think he's top 5. With a couple other, you know, with Burrows and stuff. But that's, you know, there's really no way to stop them. Like if you try to cover all 3 of them, and you saw it, like Dallas had everybody was covered. Like A.J. Brown was locked down. Like you know,
that was a winnable game for Dallas.
And what it? Yeah, but dude, but he owned us, dude. He did whatever he wanted. He ran the ball at will. We couldn't stop him. Like, that's what's scary, is that they're using this as a warm up. What happens when they really start clicking and putting it together? That's something we have to look at.
Yeah, but and the other thing is that when they did the tush push, a lot of people have noticed, as far as how they run it, they're lined up off sides, and you can see it. The referees can't see it because these are big jokers. In the middle, you can't see these guys from the side. I'm just saying, when you get a top view and see what's going on, the guards are off sides. They're moving before the ball's snapped. That's how they get the push that they needed. So I think the referees are going to really pay attention, for the rest of the year, as far as the way they're going to determine how to call this, because it was obvious, what's going on.
Brad, what do you think about the touch push? You haven't really commented on that before.
I mean, I kind of wish they would have banned it. There is no way to stop it. But like Byron said, if you look at it, the way that the play is designed, even the way when they're snapping the ball, the helmet is off sides. They're in the neutral zone. They're already what would be considered nobody calls it. Nobody does anything, especially when they go on the silent count. The guards are going a split before that to where it's negligible, to where you can't really say, okay, that's a false start. And they're literally taking advantage of just, look, if somebody could get underneath them, that's what they do. It's not only are they jumping so quickly and offsides or false start, but they're so low that there's no way to get beneath them to stop that thing. I honestly believe it should be pushed out of the game, not because they can get 2 yards and nobody can stop them, because it's stupid. It's just a ridiculous aspect. So.
Yeah, quite something. It'll probably be in the team meetings and the owner meetings next year. So we'll see what happens there. Let's go for Daniel Jones leading the Colts 2-0. Byron, first time the Colts have been 2-0 since 2009. What's happening? Beating the Broncos, a very legit team.
Yes, and the Chargers very legit. What do you think about Danny Dimes? You loving Danny Dimes?
Let me think about this. Yeah. Of course, I always have. I'm gonna beat Victor upside the head with this one. I told Victor a long time ago. I said, if this kid gets a real offensive line, some weapons, he has a legit running back. Jonathan Taylor is a top 10 running back there.
Top 5.
And he get all he has to do is just get the ball to these guys. He doesn't have to be the guy. Just get the ball to that he did with the Giants. Not even close. Yes, the offensive line is they got Quentin Nelson. I can't think of the other kids. They signed somebody in free agency. Fries. Yeah, I think the guy's Fries is the last name. They signed somebody, I think tackle or something. They're not bad. They are not a bad team.
Brett, what do you think about the Colts? Are they a bad team or a good team?
Just enough to win the game.
But I have to agree. But look, Jonathan Taylor is a top 5 running back. Both from, if you look at it from production, if you look at it from, he did it with a quarterback that was a rookie that got hurt. Now it's funny how, look, a new situation. You put a quarterback. It happens all the time. They did nothing but fail. They were in a bad. I mean, and New York's got to be probably the hardest market besides LA, maybe to actually have to play for. But he's got Pittman. He's got some weapons. The offensive line, like you said, they actually beefed it up quite a bit to really add some protection. And when you got Jonathan Taylor, look at his numbers. Like, look what the cat does. He is a monster, even from a fantasy standpoint. Y'all didn't leave him on the board. I had them going with Cook instead of, because that's who I want him, was Jonathan Taylor coming back around.
165 yards, Brett.
Yeah, come on. And now you throw the fact that Daniel Jones has these years underneath him to really understand the game. He's just a perfect fit. I mean, do I see them making a run for the Super Bowl? I'm sorry, Byron. I see you actually making a run for that division and actually, winning that division, because obviously it's not really strong with Tennessee and, but
one of the
maybe
most winnable
losing
divisions in the league.
Yeah.
And what's the savior for a quarterback? a tight end, and they got Ty Warren, the kid from Penn State, is a pretty good football player.
No, he's a
39
beast,
yards.
Byron. He's a beast, my man.
I don't want to give him all that yet, but yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
We knew him preseason. Like preseason, he looked good. He carried it over. Week 1 and week 2, he's been nothing but a perfect outlet. That little check down, and like he said, every great quarterback needs, whether it's Gronkowski, whether it was Novacek, whether it was whoever it was, a good quarterback always has his old reliable, that tight end. They do have some weapons outside. I like the Colts. I really do. I think they're a great football team, and they're a team that's going to be fun to watch because they don't have that culture of going to divisional playoffs and AFC. I would literally love to see the Colts just make a run on it and play in the AFC Championship. A lot of talent over there, you know what I'm saying? And again, I like the Chargers a lot over there. They're looking good, but let's go Colts. I'll root for you, man. I'd love to see you guys do something special.
They have easy schedule. Got Tennessee next.
If Daniel Jones goes to if Daniel Jones goes to the AFC Championship game, Shane and Dable should be fired the next day. They should be
Out
fired
the door
if he
with
goes
a pink
to the
slip.
AFC Championship game. Don't even give him a pink slip. Just push him out the door. Get out.
Kick him right out the door. Yeah, that's it. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out.
Well, you got the Colts have Tennessee next, and the Rams. That should be a little bit difficult, and the Raiders. So this is maybe not like playing against the Chargers, but it's not a bad schedule, right, Brett?
No, I winnable.
Very winnable, except the Chargers.
I'm excited about these games now that they're that type of team. Colts Chargers is a game. That's a game. I don't know what happened with Khalil though. I mean, I saw him go out with the arm. What did you know what his injury is?
Yeah, he
or something. His arm was
dislocated his elbow.
Okay, so what's his time frame on that? I didn't see. Do you know how long he's out? Is
I will look that up. Is it 3 weeks, right, Byron? Couple minutes behind. Byron's a couple minutes behind. It's okay. Especially Wednesday, Mac Willis missed 4 games.
Okay. It looked bad. I thought the ligaments were, just that perfect storm of your arm getting caught in between the defender and the. But he's a beast. He's a beast. And again, he's a team leader. He's a guy you need in that locker room.
Yeah, let me see that right now. I can play the video right there.
Yeah, take a look at his arm gets stuck. Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, right in between the actual receiver and the other defender.
Oh man, I heard looking at it. Good grief.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I thought it was more serious. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought because I watched it live and then saw the replays, I thought for sure blown ligaments that, you know what I'm saying, he would be out for the entire year.
Quite something. Khalil Mack, 4 weeks at least for the LA Chargers. We'll see what happens. Let's go to another game. Chargers intercept Geno Smith 3 times. Brett talking about the Chargers. Shut down the Raiders. The Raiders are 0-2, Mr. Jones. And Tom Brady was sitting at the booth, the team booth.
Yeah.
Giving some advice. I can see Tom Brady doing some little coaching, right, Byron? Couple seconds behind.
Nah, who wants to aggravate it? This guy's got $1 billion. Why you want the aggravation of being a coach in the NFL? He's fine. Do a couple games, sit up in the booth with the Raiders, and just let it be. Give Geno Smith some advice as far as throwing these interceptions, and that's all he needs to do.
Brett, your thoughts over the Raiders, or you can also talk about the Chargers?
No. I mean, I'll talk about both, but I agree that I think you should do more like a Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Your owner, you come in, obviously you want to set a tone. You want, everybody's going to come to you for a little bit of advice. But
some expectations.
What was hilarious about that game is they were literally saying, like, Mr. Accuracy, Geno Smith, over 78% completion percentage, and he's throwing the ball all over the field. Intercept, just the worst. So it was just hilarious that the announcers led with, how accurate Geno Smith is, and that he's consistently, doing this, and this, and he comes out and the Chargers just owned it. But the Chargers are a damn good team. Like, how high I am on Ladd McConkey. Like Justin Herbert's, I think, from a stats point of view, is probably top 3 or top 4. They got Johnston, who I picked up in fantasy on 3 touchdowns in 2 games. He had a 70-yarder last week. The Chargers are for real. Even Najee. I wanted to see if Najee Harris came in with a little patch. I thought he'd have a patch from the
Najee
in the eye, but he looked good. He looked like he had both eyes. I mean, they're a complete team. Even Najee Harris looked good.
Professor says Ladd McConkey is the dog too.
It seemed like Quentin. Yeah.
Go ahead, Byron.
I see Mr. Quentin Johnston doesn't have the dropsies anymore because the 2-3 years in a row he dropped a lot of passes, and I'm sure Harbaugh came in and said, you know what, you're our number 1 guy. You better catch the ball. If you don't, I'll find somebody that can. And he's played a lot better this year than he has over the past 2 or 3 years. And he was brought in for that reason. He was a high pick. And for some reason, it just wasn't gelling his first 2 or 3 years. But now, he's that guy. Him along with the other kid was the Georgia kid,
Ladd McConkey.
Yeah,
McConkey. And remember, they brought back Keenan Allen too. And Keenan Allen has more receptions than anybody on the team. I mean, obviously, as Sant will tell you, I took Ladd McConkey in my fantasy league. He's going to be a high volume guy. But you brought back Keenan Allen, like an old, reliable. And he's been a beast. So now you have, just like you said, they've been looking for big things from Quentin Johnston for multiple years to take the top off that defense, to open it up, to bring in like the kid from Georgia, Ladd McConkey, or bring in, Keenan Allen, and it's working. It's working. That offense right now, I love Dallas's offense. There's 3 or 4 offenses in the league, obviously Philly being another one, that if they're clicking, I don't see any defense there's no defense in the league that's proven to me that they're dominant enough to even stout enough to stop some of these offenses. And the Chargers would be one, Philly would be one, Dallas would be one. There's 1 or 2 others that have that. That's the great thing about football this year. Like, there's been great games so far. Everything seems to be a shootout. But what happened to defense? Defense wins championships, and
they're not paying their defense enough, right?
They're either paying them too much and they're getting lazy, or they're not paying them enough. Whatever it may be, like, play some defense, make some negative.
It's early,
yeah.
Because it's early in the season, and these guys are still getting used to tackling somebody. You figure all preseason they're not hitting. The couple games are hitting each other. In practice, they're not hitting each other. So like we said this 1,000 times. The first 3 or 4 games of the season, they're going to start. The tackling's going to get better and better as the season goes on. But right now, they're all hot mess.
A hot mess. I love it.
So Byron, who are your top 3 offenses? Brad named his.
Yep.
What's yours?
Philadelphia, of course.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw my New York Giants out there just because I can.
Totally fair game. He brought up the Cowboys. Totally fair.
The world, brother.
Maybe the Rams. Los Angeles Rams. Good offense. There you go.
Prophet Source says
I'm going to play forever Stafford.
Yeah, Stafford, Pakua, and then they got Devontae Adams over there. Kyron Williams at running back. That would be another one. Of the other 2 I would throw in there. Like, they have pieces at every position, and Stafford is just like Methuselah. Like, he's older than dirt, but you can't stop him from. I think he went over 60,000 yards in week 1. Right, he went over 60,000.
I think so.
Yeah, well, he's never going to catch Brady, who's at 89,000.
Yeah, right. Brady played 72 years though, so it's it's a little different. Like,
Plus 2 years with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Prophet Source says, "I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, gents, but Philly's going to take the ship this year. You're here to hear first. LOL."
Who said that?
Prophet Source.
Prophet Source. I don't know. I dig his name. I got to be honest with you. And look, you're a Philly fan. Rep your team. I dislike you greatly.
But it's totally fair. I would put in Arizona Cardinals as honorable mention.
They're not impressing me. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, James Conner hasn't really done much this year. Marvin Harrison, they brought him, was supposed to be the second coming. He's not doing anything. Obviously, McBride, like, their tight end is top 3 or top 4. As far as tight ends, like as for numbers that he puts up, but they're just That's all I could say. All right, they're just winning here. I'm not taking them in a big game.
Okay, Vikings placing Aaron Jones on injury reserve. Is that going to be a big issue for the Vikings, Brett?
No. Mason was going to be the number 1 running back by the end of the year anyway. I like Aaron Jones. I liked Aaron Jones when he was with Green Bay. Mason is a bigger, stronger version of Aaron Jones. Like, I already knew. You guys snagged him before I could get him. I knew he was going to be the number 1 running back. I didn't think Jones would go down, but when he came in, it's obvious that now McCarthy's down. I don't know how that's going to affect things, but no, they're not going to miss a beat because Mason is a bad dude.
Mr. Byron, what do you think about Aaron Jones being placed on injury reserve, which you gotta be allowed, you gotta be out like for at least 4 games,
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Not having him. Even if he's part of the rotation with the other guy. You want like 2 backs. Back there. 2. Carry the load. Not have one guy carry the load all the time. You want to give him the little break, and then by him going on IR now. I don't know, man. It's going to be a little rough for the Vikings, especially with McCarthy being hurt. I think he's out. Is he out too?
He's out for a week or 2.
Yeah, God.
It's not looking good. It's not looking good for my Vikings.
And Jefferson, like you got a great wide receiver, but I don't know. Somehow, even when he has backup quarterbacks, he still gets 100 receptions. So he's a freak of nature.
How's that possible?
Yeah, I don't know. Cousins goes out. They bring in like dudes off the street, and somehow
you put Mike White, you'll still get 400 yards.
Ridiculous. But what do you do now? Like he said, he's right. I mean,
Carson Wentz is starting for the Vikings this weekend.
Is that who? That's who's starting? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't even know he's still in the league.
They picked him up like a week before the season started.
He's got 170 million reasons why to still be in the league.
Another big absent. Bengals losing Joe Burrow that suffers a turf toe, 3rd degree, be out for at least 3 months. He's a slow healer. I think he's out, guys. I think he's out. What are your thoughts, Mr. Byron?
Well, I had turf toe when I played football in college. And when we played, in the Stone Age, when we played, you're talking about something that hurts. I mean, and back then, all they do, they put some tape on it, on your 2 toes, and send you right out there. But yeah, it must be pretty bad if they're going to have to do surgery on it. And I don't think, by him being a quarterback and he has to push off on his foot, that I don't think he's going to play the rest of the year. I don't think he's going to be back at all.
Brett, he's out. Is this going to be a huge L for the Bengals this year?
Done. Dead. First of all, I didn't even know there was a 3rd degree as far as turf toe. I've never heard of it. I didn't. You had turf toe or you didn't. I didn't know there was a 2nd degree or a 3rd degree of turf toe. But obviously, I'm ignorant to the fact that. But like Byron said, if you're a quarterback, you're pushing off on that toe. I mean, any position on the field, obviously, when you're even in a 3-point stance, 4-point stance, obviously, a toe that's damaged or injured is going to be bad. But There's no way he comes back and gets comfortable. I think it's another thing like he did, again, like Dak Prescott 2 years ago. He missed that year. He was out for the year with the knee, came back and was throwing the ball, slinging the ball all over the field. Just like Dak got hurt 4 years ago. The next year was his best year. Then he got hurt again. Then his next year again was his best year. And he's going to do it again this year. It's just what he does. But I agree. I do not think Joe Burrow starts again for the Bengals this year.
It's too bad. Yeah, turf toe is when your toe
don't
sticks
sleep
up.
on.
Go ahead, Brett.
It hurt. Don't sleep on Jake Browning, the backup quarterback. He's pretty good. He's not bad.
He had more receptions and yards to Jamar Chase than Burrow has had all year. So I have Jamar Chase. I took him as the number one pick. Santiago can tell you. I was worried. I was very concerned. And if you look at their numbers, he throws to Jamar all day. So he actually played most of the game. I didn't know until I read about it. And his numbers, especially run after the catch, which means you're putting your wide receiver in a position to make a play. You're not only getting him the ball for completion, but now that and he's got more yards after the catch than anybody else in the NFL. And this week was he had a great game, and it was Browning that really did all the completions. So I was worried. I was extremely concerned. But I think that offense keeps coming around. Chase Brown Chase has not really done much. He had very high expectations. He had a good year last year. It is very early, as we said, that we're always jumping the gun and the little chicken little, the sky is falling, and we all do it. Like it's human nature as far as our team. There's a lot of football games to play, but I'm not worried now with Browning because just like Byron said, don't sleep on him. The kid can play.
Jake Browning with the Bengals going up against Carson Wentz and the Vikings. What was that, Byron?
When in doubt, throw it to Chase.
When in doubt. And then, of course, we mentioned this before. J.J. McCarthy out for 2-4 weeks with ankle sprain and going to start Carson Wentz. Let's go for predictions for this weekend. Tonight, Thursday night, Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. Who you got, Brett, for tonight's Thursday night game?
All day. The Dolphins' defense is horrible. There's no way humanly possible that the Dolphins beat the Bills tonight. It's just not happening. Josh Allen's not going to let that happen.
What about you, Byron?
Mr. McDaniels is playing out the string. He'd probably get fired soon. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
Las Vegas Raiders are down 0-2. Commanders 1-1. They did not do well against the Packers. Who do you got, Brett, for this matchup? Raiders at Commanders.
I mean, it's tough. Jaden's hurt. He's playing, but I believe he's he's questionable or whatever. He's banged up. But that Commanders team in Quinn, the Raiders are not coming in to D.C. and beating the Commanders. I would take Washington.
And the stadium, RFK, is coming back, like old times.
RFK Stadium. All we need is the Hogs and Joe Riggins.
Byron.
In the hood, though. It is, man. That stadium's in a sketchy area where they're putting. It's like, I'll pass. I'll go down. I'm going with the Commanders.
The Commanders win in D.C. Steelers at the Patriots. Steelers are 1-1. Patriots are 1-1. Classic. Mr. Jones, who do you have for that matchup?
I'm gonna go with the upset, man. I'm gonna say the Patriots are gonna beat the Steelers. Put a fork in, that guy Aaron Rodgers a little bit more.
Brett,
I agree. I'm gonna go to the Patriot home. They're a solid team. They got two good running backs there, a good young quarterback, and the Steelers are all over the place. Like they brought in Rodgers. He's nowhere near. I mean, he can still sling the ball around, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. Like the Aaron Rodgers we know, as much as he wants to pretend, he doesn't have that edge that he used to. I agree with Mr. Jones, and I take the Patriots in the upset.
Byron, the Cowboys at the Chicago Bears.
I'm going to go with this Chicago Bears. I'm going to go with them.
At Soldier Field.
There we go.
That was tough.
Oh man, that was so malicious, bro. It just I could feel how malicious that was. Come on.
I had to pull a Victor. That's called pulling a Victor. Always go the opposite of somebody else.
Yeah, your
Brett,
two
are you
favorite
going
teams
opposite against your team?
I'm saying that. So Byron's favorite teams are the Giants and whoever's playing my Cowboys. Like that's his two favorite teams in the NFL. I'm going with my boys, but I really do believe, like, if they can pull something together defensively and confuse Caleb a little bit, Caleb is all over the place. Like, they're scoring. Swift is a little banged up, but he's going to play. They have a lot of weapons for the Duzier, DJ Moore. You know what I'm saying? They got the young kid. What's the young tight end? They want to play at Michigan. I can't remember his name.
Loveland.
I can't remember his name.
Loveland.
Yeah. They have a young
Loveland.
tight end there. They have Love. That's it. I mean, he's going to be a great tight end. He's going to be another. Yeah, they took him, I believe, in the first round. You know, they were very pretty high in the first round. What number pick was he?
Loveland.
Top 10. He was high.
Yeah. I think he went like 8.
He was drafted 10th overall pick. 10th
overall pick. Okay. You don't take a tight end 10th overall pick in the first round unless you see something. And that's what they did. But I still think the Cowboys. I don't see any defense in the league that scares me enough that I know that offensively we would be able to move the football with anybody. So I'll take the Cowboys.
Cowboys it is. Now Sunday night game. Kansas City Chiefs must win at the Meadowlands against the Giants. Brett, you go first. What do you have?
Chiefs, baby. Come on.
It's a must win.
Obviously, I have Mahomes in the league. I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I don't understand why they are not forcing the ball to Kelsey. I'm looking at it. It's not like he's triple covered. It's not like they're rolling the defense to him, keeping a linebacker underneath. They're not, and I do not understand. I mean, obviously, he had the tip ball, which led to the interception in the end zone and lost the game. He should be going. He has nobody else but Hollywood Brown, as Byron said earlier. Like, Xavier Worthy will be back in a week or two. He's a baller. He's a game maker. Rice is suspended. I believe he's going to be 6 games. When their offense is back in place, and they have obviously Chris Jones, I think they are going to turn it around. They are not going to win the AFC West. The Chargers are going to win the AFC West, but they will be. They're not going to be a 6 and 12 team. They're going to be, you know, that 9 and 8 team. You know what I'm saying?
Byron, I never would have said this, but this could be a winnable game for the New York Giants against the Chiefs in New Jersey. Who do you have? Oh, Byron went offline, Brett.
Oh, we know. Do we really need to ask who he's going to pick? Because obviously,
yes, you're back. We just don't know. He could pick the Chiefs, Brett.
I'm picking the Giants.
He's picking the Giants.
I'm picking the Giants in an upset, and it's not even going to be close.
Whoa, it's possible.
Wow.
If Russell Wilson gave you 450 yards again, that'd be something.
Yes, he can. The Chiefs are a little shaky on everywhere, except for cornerback. But defensive line shaky, linebacker shaky. Their offensive line is not playing as well as they have in the past. Even though they did add the new left tackle for Patrick, he has no weapons to speak up until those guys come back. So I'm going to go with my New York Football Giants.
Well, there you have it. Week 3 commences. Bills are up by a touchdown. 14
Who scored it?
7. I don't know who scored, but they're up by 1.
Let's hope it's Cook, correct?
Touchdown, 14-7. It might have been James Cook, who got a good contract this past summer. Well, there you have it. Week 3 NFC East recap. We talked about the Cowboys, talked about the Giants, their strengths, and we also talked about the Bears and the Chargers. A lot going on this past week and this upcoming weekend. So we'll see. Hopefully not much injuries, but we'll see what happens. Brett, any closing words before we go?
Always a pleasure, gentlemen. I look forward to it. And listen, I stopped the smoke signals. You can now, if you want to reach me, you can do Sanskrit, and I accept transcript. Like, if you just submit it, I'll figure it out. I'll decode it. You can just reach out to me. Anything you send, but please send in transcript. Okay.
We're still ordering telegraph for bread. Hopefully, it'll be from Amazon.
Pony Express. Next week will be the Pony Express, so it'll be okay.
And you can reach us at thesportscast.net, our website, or the Sportscast One on X, Instagram, Threads, and you can reach us there. Watch some live tweets we do throughout the weekend. But you can catch the Jersey Boys every Thursday at what time, Byron?
8:00.
8:00 p.m. Eastern.
There you go. That's the.
We talk some NFC East and of course Cowboys big time and Giants. Profit Source says awesome stream. Thank you guys. You guys made the stream great. Really appreciate it. Profit Source. Come back next Thursday, 8 p.m. We'll talk about the NFC East more in detail. And of course, anything fun with the Giants, Cowboys, Eagles, and Commanders. Well, guys, always a pleasure. Peace.
Byron, the pleasure, man. Santiago, I love you, my man. I gotta go. The football game's on. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. All right.
Go Miami.
Yeah.